Beginning. The fall of Virella, midnight to 3:30. The battlefield burned beneath a violet sky. Plasma fire split the air as the ruins of Virella outpost crumbled under the relentless assault of the alien army. Smoke and dust filled the horizon, and the once bustling human colony was now a graveyard of metal and memory. I was Lieutenant Aiden Cross, one of the last surviving soldiers from the Terran Expeditionary Force. We had come to Virella to negotiate peace, but the aliens, known as the Dravari Dominion, had no interest in peace. They saw humanity as invaders, and their queen's decree had been simple: eradicate them all. I crouched behind a shattered wall, my pulse rifle overheating from overuse. My armor's HUD flickered red, warning of depleted power reserves. Through the static of my comms, I heard only silence. My squad was gone, burned away by energy blades and aerial bombardments. Only me against them. Then, through the smoke, I saw her for the first time. The alienqueen. She stood atop a ridge surrounded by her royal guard. Tall, regal, armored in glistening silver that shimmered like starlight. Her skin was pale, marked with bioluminescent veins that pulsed faintly. A crown-like formation of bone rose from her temples, framing eyes that glowed emerald green, eyes that locked on me as if she were studying prey. And yet, there was no cruelty in her gaze, only curiosity. The guards advanced, but she lifted a hand, a silent command. Even from this distance, I felt the authority in her gesture ripple through the battlefield. Her troops froze, awaiting her will. I was the last human left alive here. I should have run. But something in her eyes told me, this wasn't just a war anymore. It was a test. A moment neither of our species had anticipated. So I stood up. I raised my rifle, my last energy cell humming weakly, and faced her. If I was going to die, I would make sure the Queen remembered my name. Middle. The last stand, 3:30 to 7 o'clock. The Dravari soldiers surrounded me in a semicircle. The Queen's voice echoed through the translator in my helmet, soft and sharp at once. Human. You continue to fight even though you are alone. Why? I exhaled hard. Because surrender isn't survival. You just kill me slower. Her expression shifted slightly, amusement, or admiration. I couldn't tell. Then she said something that froze the air between us. Prove your claim. The guards withdrew. I realized what she meant only when 3 Dravari warriors stepped forward, each armed with curved plasma blades that shimmered with ultraviolet light. It was a duel. My rifle was empty now, but I had my combat blade, dull and dented from the last fight. I switched the plasma edge on. It sputtered weakly, a dying glow. The first warrior charged. I barely sidestepped, slashing across his armor. Sparks flew, but he was faster. He struck my shoulder, my armor cracked. Pain flared white-hot, but I didn't drop. I shoved my blade into his chest, twisting until his body went limp. 2 more. The next came low and fast. I ducked, grabbed a broken rifle from the ground, and used it as a shield against his swing. The impact sent me sprawling, but I rolled to my feet and used the butt of the rifle to smash into his jaw. He stumbled. I plunged the blade upward into his throat. The third warrior hesitated, a fraction of a second too long, and I charged. We collided hard. His blade cut deep into my side, but I kept pushing, tackling him to the ground. My hand found a shard of metal from the ruins, and I drove it into the alien's chest over and over until he stopped moving. When it was done, I was shaking, bleeding, gasping, but alive. And the alienqueen. She had not moved an inch. Her eyes burned brighter now, her expression unreadable. She descended the ridge, her guards parting like water. The closer she came, the more I realized. She wasn't just powerful. She was beautiful in an alien, haunting way. Graceful but terrifying. She stopped a few meters away. "You fight with rage," she said, her voice like wind through crystal. "But your rage is not for conquest." I straightened, blood dripping down my arm. "I don't fight for conquest. I fight because you gave me no choice." She tilted her head. "And yet, you still live." Her hand lifted slightly, fingers glowing faintly as a shimmer of green light passed over my wounds. Pain ebbed away. My armor hissed as the cracks sealed. She had healed me. "Why? Tell me, human," she said softly. "If I ordered my army to stop this war, would your people do the same?" I hesitated. Her question cut through every wall I'd built. Was peace even possible now? After all this blood? "I don't know," I admitted. "But I'd try." That answer seemed to ripple through her, an emotion I didn't expect from an alien monarch. She studied me for a long moment, then turned toward her soldiers. "Enough," she said. "Stand down." A murmur spread across the alien ranks. The war, the slaughter, stopped. Just like that. Ending. The command that changed everything, 7 to 10 o'clock. Later I woke inside a crystalline chamber. My wounds were gone. The air shimmered with the hum of alien machinery. I wasn't a prisoner, I was a guest. The queen stood nearby, without her armor this time. Her clothing was ceremonial, elegant, woven from threads that glowed faintly with energy. Her hair, white with hints of violet, flowed like liquid light. She looked less like a conqueror now and more like something eternal. "You are awake," she said. I sat up carefully. "Where am I?" "In the heart of my ship. You were dying. I saved you." I frowned. "Why?" "I was your enemy." Her gaze softened. "Because you reminded me of something my kind has forgotten, mercy." She stepped closer. "When the Dravari left our homeworld, we believed strength meant domination. But you, alone, broken, defiant, you fought not to conquer but to protect. That strength is rarer than you think." I swallowed hard. "So what happens now?" "Now," she said, "I change everything." With a gesture, she summoned her generals through holographic display. Her voice thundered through the chamber. "The war ends. Effective immediately." The generals protested, but she silenced them with a glare that could melt stone. "The humans are not our enemies. They are our reflection." She ended the transmission, then turned back to me. I couldn't speak. Everything I'd believed about the Dravari, their cruelty, their hunger for domination, had shattered in that moment. "You risked everything," she said quietly. "Now I must do the same." Her hand brushed my arm, cool and delicate. "There will be consequences for what I've done. My council will not accept this easily. But perhaps this is the way forward." I met her gaze. "You'd risk your throne for peace?" She smiled faintly. "Not for peace. For hope." The way she said it, like it was the rarest thing in the universe, stayed with me. When I finally returned to Earth weeks later, the ceasefire was real. The Dravari fleets pulled back. Communication channels opened. Treaties began. But what haunted me most wasn't the war. It was her. Sometimes when I looked at the stars, I swore I could still feel her eyes watching me. Calm, luminous, eternal. The alien queen who had witnessed my last stand, and changed the fate of 2 worlds with a single command.